Episode 20, The Confrontation Between the Two Armies of Tantai Jin and Xiao Lin. Tantai Jin decided to find a way to make Yi Shiwu like him. For this reason, he chose gold and silver jewelry, rouge, and water powder to give to Yi Shiwu. Yi Shiwu came to thank Tantai Jin and told him to give someone something they liked to make them happy. Subsequently, Yi Shiwu asked Tantai Jin to accompany him by the lake to watch the stars. He recalled watching the stars and fireflies on Changzi Mountain when he was a child. In order to make Yi Shiwu happy, Tantai Jin used magic to transform fireflies into a sky full of them, which made Yi Shiwu very happy. The two armies of Shengwa Jingwa faced a stalemate. But King Shengwang requested that the army not retreat. The soldiers analyzed the situation, and if the Shengwa army crossed the Mo River and directly attacked Jiaguan, the soldiers' physical strength could not keep up. Xiao Lin knew that this was Tantai Jin's strategy of using retreat to advance and lure the enemy deeper. Now their best solution was to wait for the frozen Mo River to cross and attack Jingwa. However, King Sheng was naturally suspicious and afraid he could not wait for this opportunity. Tantai Jin found a star-shaped meteorite as a birthday gift and gave it to Yi Shiwu. She also allowed her to go home for a day off. Yi Shiwu invited Tantai Jin to celebrate her birthday together, which made Tantai Jin very happy. But Tantai Jin brought Yi Shiwu to the entrance of Yi Mansion, and he did not enter the mansion to see the Yi family. Grandmother Yi Shiwu understands Tantai Jin's approach, as she was treated harshly by the Yi family in the Yi Mansion of Jingwa before. Yi Xiao is also grateful for Tantai Jin's preservation of the Yi family and urges Yi Shiwu to cherish Tantai Jin's love. Yi Shiwu realizes that Tantai Jin was unhappy because she thought of the days when she had been bullied before. She hurriedly eats longevity noodles and leaves the house to see Tantai Jin, and she feels guilty about this. But Tantai Jin said that although she didn't come to her house to celebrate her birthday, she was still very happy that Yi Shiwu could take her back to her mansion. Tantai Jin brought Yi Shiwu to the Lingxing Hall, the palace she most wanted to visit when she was young. This is the imperial tomb where Tantai Jin's mother, Consort Ro, was buried. Tantai Jin brought Yi Shiwu to pay tribute to her mother and informed her of her identity. Yi Shiwu also promised to accompany Tantai Jin to pay tribute to Consort Ro in the future. Tantai Jin was happy and asked Yi Shiwu to choose a place to be buried in the imperial tomb in the future, hoping that one day Yi Shiwu would truly like herself. Yi Shiwu knew in his heart that he was Li Su, and he couldn't really like Tantai Jin in this life. Sheng Wang intercepted the military report from Tantai Jin, but was very dissatisfied with Xiao Lin's delay in sending troops. He ordered Xiao Lin to lead troops to cross the north within 3 days. The military order was difficult, and Xiao Lin had to lead troops to try crossing the north. Soon Tantai Jin learned the news of Xiao Lin crossing the river, and he rushed with Yi Qingyu to aid Jiaguan, hoping to capture Xiao Lin alive in front of the battle and destroy the war spirit of Shengwa. Tantai Jin invited Xiao Lin to have a private conversation before the battle, and he expressed that Xiao Lin had achieved the popularity of the prosperous country and was willing to govern the world together with Xiao Lin if he surrendered to the Jingwa. However, Xiao Lin had a military order and was unwilling to submit. The two could not negotiate and could only face each other in battle. Due to the presence of a heart guard, Xiao Lin was not caught by Tantai Jin. Pang Iji helped and allowed Xiao Lin to successfully retreat completely. Upon learning that Xiao Lin had led his troops to withdraw, King Sheng was furious and ordered Yi Bingsheng to enter the palace as soon as possible, in order to force Xiao Lin to quickly capture the Jiaguan Pass. Xiao Lin knew that she could not disobey the holy order and warned Yi Bingsheng that if she died in battle the next day, she could avoid observing the festival and find a good fate to spend the rest of her life. Although Yi Bingsheng claimed to be willing to live and die with Xiao Lin, she also knew that Xiao Lin would find it difficult to protect herself. Yi Shiwu was afraid that the soul-destroying nail would disappear again. In order to prevent Tantai Jin from reducing her liking for herself, she had to write letters to Tantai Jin frequently to express her longing. Tantai Jin was very happy to receive the letter, but in the blink of an eye, She thought of Yi Shiwu hoping to return to China as soon as possible. Perhaps it was just because she didn't want Shenghua to be conquered as soon as possible, and she didn't really like herself. Yi Shiwu couldn't wait for a reply from Tantai Jin, and she learned from Pian Ran that Tantai Jin had her hands. She was worried and secretly followed Pian Ran's army to visit Tantai Jin from the capital. Xiao Lin received a decree and personally sent Yi Bingsheng away from the border to return to Xingdu. After returning to Xingdu, Yi Bingsheng followed the queen to copy scriptures and recite Buddhism day by day, living a vegetarian diet every day, making life very difficult. Tantai Jin has not received any letters from Yi Shiwu for this month in a row. He is quite troubled in his heart, but he is also very uncomfortable and unwilling to ask the reason. However, he does not know that Yi Shiwu has finally arrived at the Jinghua military camp after a half-month-long journey.